Good morning, everybody. As you know, my name is Bob Geyer. I'm a volunteer with Vista Center Santa Cruz, and I'll be the Zoom host for today's meeting. I will be assisted by Ryan Lynn. Ryan will be calling on you if you have your hands raised for questions. I wanted to let you know that we will be having Deborah Armstrong joining us on July 7th, and she will be talking about Siri shortcuts. So please join us next month on the 7th. And without further ado, I would like to introduce today's guest. And today it's Rachel Ramos. Rachel is a business product specialist with Humanware. And we're looking forward to Rachel telling us all about the Victor Reader Stream 3 and all of its new wonderful features. Welcome, Rachel.
Thank you so much, Bob, and thank you everybody for joining us today on this fantastic Friday morning. Before we dive in, I do have video on, so for those who are able to see it, you should hopefully be able to see the stream. And I just want to do a quick sound check. So we're going to...
Bookshare, 2 books.
Can you guys hear that? And is that a good volume for everyone?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Great. I love when things work. All right. Well, thank you so much, Bob and the Vista Center, for having me on. I am very excited to talk to you about the Victor Reader Stream. I'll give you an overview of what it is and what you can do with it. And then we're going to talk and demonstrate what is new with the brand new Victor Reader Stream 3. So a little overview to start out. The Victor Reader Stream has been a long-standing product at Humanware. It was released back in 2007, I believe. That was the Victor Reader Stream first generation. We've had the second generation, and now we are up to the third generation. So this device is a book reader at heart, I'll say. So you're able to read books from various sources. So here in the US, it supports the NLS Bard service. It supports Bookshare, and it supports NFB Newsline. Plus, you can add any local content that you have, such as music, documents, and other files through an SD card onto the unit. So any of this content you're able to read, you're able to listen to, and you can also access online content such as podcasts, internet radio, things like that. So any, I would say, media consumption that you want to do, you can do on the Victor Reader Stream. It's a very portable unit. So this unit is a very portable one, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a physical description before we go into everything that the functions do. And now we're going to then check out each of its facets. So the unit, and we're going to start out with the Victor Reader Stream 3. The previous generations have had similar designs. So before the webinar started, some folks were discussing the Victor Reader Stream 2, and that looks very similar to the Victor Reader Stream 3. So if you have one and you maybe want to follow along, you'll be able to do that because the physical design is very familiar. And that's one thing that has made the product so popular is the familiar design. Once you know the functions of each of the buttons, no matter whether you have a second generation or a third generation or even a first generation, there's still some of those hanging around. You're able to know what the buttons do. So that alleviates a lot of stress of getting a new product. If you already know what it does, then you'll be able to pick it up and start using it immediately. So quick physical description of the stream. On the top, we have the slot for the SD card. Now on the Victor Reader Stream 3, this comes with a new little flip top plastic cover. So just to protect the SD card slot from dust or debris getting into it. And it supports up to cards that have 1 terabyte in size. So if you have a lot of media that you want to put on your device, you can do that through the SD card. On the left-hand side, you have a small round power button. If you hold that down, it'll turn the device on. You have some volume buttons below that. On the Stream 3, you have a microphone jack on the left-hand side, and then on the bottom, you have a standard 1/8-inch headphone jack. What is new on the bottom is the Stream 3 supports USB-C charging. That was something that we gathered a lot of our customers wanted and needed, and as technology moves forward, that is something that we had to put into the new unit. So this is nice because you're able to insert any standard USB-C cable into the charger and charge your device. On the right-hand side, we have a button that is for recording notes. So if you want to take a quick voice note or a voice memo, you can do that just by touching that button. So you're able to record notes, which will go on your SD card. And then if you want to store those notes for later retrieval, you can do so by connecting the stream to your computer. And you will be able to access the SD card that's inside it. And you can take those notes and copy them over to your computer if you'd like to do so. That's also something that is new on the Stream 3 is you're able to connect it to your computer and you can access the internal memory, which is 16 gigabytes, or you can access any SD cards that you have in the stream all under one drive on your computer. So it just makes it easier to access the media and the files that you want to put on the stream or copy to your computer. On the top of the stream here, it's a face with, at first glance, it may seem like a lot of buttons, but it's not really. And I'll tell you why. So we have a go-to button, an online, offline bookshelf button, which we will demonstrate, and then a bookmark button. The rest of the buttons are arranged in a telephone-style keypad, so that should be familiar to anyone who has used or seen a stream previous. If not, we've modeled it after the standard telephone-style keypad, and all of these buttons do various functions. To quickly show you what those functions are or talk about them, the 2 and 8 are up and down arrows. 4 and 6 are left and right arrows. So if you need to go up and down a menu or left and right through a menu, you can do that just by pressing 2 and 8, 4, or 6. So those are nice paired off that way. The 5 key is where am I? That's always helpful. Is there a description of a book? Can I find out more information about any media? That is your 5 key. Your 0 key is information about the stream itself. Do you have any downloads present? What's your serial number? If you have user keys processed for the NLS BARD service, so any stream information. On the bottom of your telephone style keypad, you have the star key, which is cancel. And then you have the pound or hash key on the right, and that is confirm. Below that, you have a sleep button. So that is for setting your sleep timer. If you want to listen to a book before you go to sleep, you can set the sleep timer for various increments, and then the stream will power off, and hopefully you will be able to fall asleep or whatever it is that you're setting the sleep timer for. Lastly, on the bottom of this device, we have 3 buttons. And on the Stream 3, we've made these buttons more tactually identifiable. So on these 3 buttons, you have a little almost like half a rectangle on the left one, and that is for rewind. You have a small rectangular button for play. And then on the right-hand side, you have kind of the other half of a tactual identifiable rectangle, and that is fast forward. So play, rewind, and fast forward are all on the bottom. Moving back up to the keypad now, I'm going to describe the arrows and the 5 key. So 2, 8, 4, and 6 all have little tactually identifiable markers. So you're able to quickly tell what key that you have your hand on. It's just easier because you'll probably be using this with one hand, and it's easier to put your thumb on the key with a tactually identifiable marker. On key 5, you have 2 dots, and that is, of course, the where am I key, and that will provide a description of the media. Okay, we're going to dive into now what is new on the stream. So again, if you have a stream 2 and you're following along, all of those buttons and their functions are exactly the same. The stream 3 just feels a little different because the buttons are rubberized and they are a bit bigger. So it's a lot easier to press them and ensure that you're getting the feedback that you need. So jumping into what is new on the Stream 3, we've talked about the SD card cover. We've talked about the USB-C charging on the bottom, and the headphone jack is also located on the bottom. We have also added Bluetooth. That is something that we have heard a lot from our customers, that they would really like to have that on their stream. After all, it is a listening device, so being able to connect it to Bluetooth headphones, speakers, some hearing aids, if they are compatible, that would require some testing, but you have those options. So we're going to jump into the menus. Now, if you are a Stream 2 user, you will know that you press key 7 to access the menus. You do the same on Stream 3. Let's jump into these because these have been reorganized for more efficient navigation. So much easier to get to where you want to go quickly. So I'm going to press key 7.
Menu, modify login information.
Now, that is a new item. And you may think, what is that and why is that there? Well, I'm going to call that kind of a bit of a local menu. My bookshelf, I'm currently on the Bookshare bookshelf. So if I hit 7, the stream is saying, hey, did you want to modify your Bookshare information? So it's sensitive to what bookshelf you're on, and you'll see that that will change once I change the bookshelf. If I press key 7 again, we're going to go into the menus that you are familiar with if you have used a stream in the past.
General settings.
Okay, so here is some general settings. So this is different. So instead of pressing 7 again to cycle through the menu choices, I'm going to press 4 or 6, those are the left and right arrow keys, to cycle through my choices. I'm going to do that now just so you can see what's here.
Navigation and playback. Wireless.
And I'm just pressing key 6, just right arrowing through these choices.
Recording. Online settings. General settings.
Okay, so that gives you a really easy way to navigate the menus, kind of top level. If I want to go into the general settings, I'm going to press confirm.
Language.
Here's language. And you may have noticed that the voices are different. In my opinion, they are a much more welcome set of voices. They're clear, they're easy to understand. And you have also a better speaker on the stream. It's new, improved, it's louder. I have this plugged into Mixer at the moment. So the speaker demonstration would be best if we were in an in-person situation. However, just know that it is louder and easier to hear. So I know that was a much requested feature as well. So I'm now in the general settings, and if I want, I can use the arrow keys, if you will, to move forward.
System. Language. System.
Okay, so you have a couple options here, language and system. And I won't bore everybody by going through those settings, but just to show you that the menus are now easier to navigate. You press your arrows to go through what I'll call the top level items, general settings, online settings, wireless, and so on. And then to activate those menus, you'll press the confirm key. And then that menu will open, and you can now left and right arrow through your choices. So I'm going to press the cancel key to exit the menus.
General settings. Leaving menu 2, I will find you.
Okay, that is now the Bookshare book that I have focused on. It is a Harlan Coben book. Now, if I want to, I can switch the bookshelves, and I mentioned we would do that, so I could show you the different menus. So I'm going to press key 1. That's always been how you navigate the bookshelves, and that has not changed. So I'll press key 1, and we're going to navigate to the next bookshelf. And I am in the online settings, and I'll show you the offline bookshelves in a moment.
Internet radio.
Okay, there's internet radio, of course.
Internet radio 2, playlists 1, favorites.
Okay, there's some favorites there. So internet radio is back. You're able to record internet radio stations if you would like. You can add them to your favorites. and use internet radio in the way that you have on the streams past. I'll press 1 again.
References. Podcast. 14.
Okay.
Podcast feeds. 2. Applevis Podcast. 3. New episodes.
So we are now on the podcast bookshelf. I know when this came to the Stream 2 was a very popular feature. Folks really enjoyed being able to connect to their wireless networks and subscribe to podcasts. You can do that, of course, on the Stream 3. And we've added some enhancements to the podcasts. If you have a large amount of podcast results, you're now able to skip to the next page of results if there are any. If a podcast has chapters, I believe that that's a relatively new feature that a podcast producer can add. And what that does is it allows you to jump to various sections of a podcast. We have seen that often requested, and I'm so excited that we now have that on the stream. So I'm going to just show you briefly what that's like and how that can help your podcast listening, because as we all know, there are so many podcasts out there and just not enough hours in the day and weeks in a year to listen to everything. But if podcast producers add chapters to their episodes, it makes it so much easier because you're able to jump around to various sections and get the information that you're looking for from a podcast.
3. Bandrew Says Podcast. X Rising. 3. New episodes.
Okay. So this is a podcast mostly about audio and creating things on YouTube, but this producer does put chapters in his episodes. So I'm going to show you this really quick. I'm going to open this podcast by pressing confirm.
3. Episodes. 1. 348. Do I hate making videos? How I 2. 347. Why NPR and Slate Podcast. Or 3. 346. The Real Cost of Being a YouTuber, and more. New.
Okay, so there's just a couple episodes. I was just pressing 6 to go through those options. Now, if I press play, it's going to start the episode and the play button.
Today on the Out of...
Okay, I'm going to stop it. Now, if I want to jump by various chapters, just like you can set time jumps or bookmarkers and you can jump by those, I'm going to press the 8 key.
Chapter.
Here is chapter. Now, to jump through those chapters, I'm going to press key 6.
Chapter 2. The Real Cost of Being a YouTuber. Chapter 3. Whites. Review more cheap gear.
Okay, so this is him reviewing some audio gear. Now, if I wanted to listen to this section, I wanted to skip the first one, all I would do is press play.
Whether it's podcasting, you are doing all of that.
Okay, and I'll press stop to stop the episode. Those are chapter markers. And again, not all podcasts have them, but they are available in some podcasts. If you want to know if the podcast you're interested in has them, just subscribe to it, download some episodes, and then all you need to do is press key 8 once you're in the episode. And if chapter is an option, then you know that that podcast has chapters. So that is a new and exciting enhancement in the podcasts area of the Victor stream. I'm going to press key 8 again, just to show you some of the other navigation options that you have in the podcast area.
Bookmark.
There's bookmark. So if you wanted to add a bookmark into a certain spot in your episode, you would press the bookmark key, which is the diamond key located above key 3.
Time jump, 30 seconds.
Okay. And then you have time jump, and that jumps by various elements of time, and there's quite a few increments you can choose from. And that's all familiar should you have used a Stream 2 in the past. And I'm just showing you that Stream 3 is everything that you have known and loved about the Stream 2 with enhancements. So I'm going to jump to now the Bookshare bookshelf, and we'll just show you that that has not changed, and we'll show you that now. So I'll press key 1.
Podcast 14. Bookshare 2. Books.
Okay.
2. I Will Find You.
So that is a Bookshare book. I'm going to press key 6.
Search for books.
And then you can search for books. So you have title search, author search, full text search, and all of the categories that Bookshare has. Something that is new from Bookshare that is supported on the Stream 3 is Bookshare audiobooks. If you're unfamiliar with this, this is where you can go to the Bookshare website. Unfortunately, this is not supported by direct download, like all of the other books are, through Bookshare on the stream. But if you want to read an audiobook from Bookshare, you can go to the Bookshare website. You can choose your book under the download format. You have a lot of different options, and one of these is audio. So if you download the book in audio, you can then copy that over to your stream, and it will show up in the books. So you copy that over to your SD card, and then it shows up in other books. So that's something you can do, and then you're able to read books or listen to books from Bookshare in audio, so they have human narrated books. So what you're looking at now is most of the Bookshare books that you will download will be read to you in the synthesized voice, which you are now able to choose different voices on the Stream 3. But Bookshare, since they have now added human narrated books, you're able to get those on the Victor Stream 3 as well. And that is such a new and welcome enhancement to Bookshare, and that this device is able to support those just allows you to read more books in the way that's most comfortable for you.
2. I will find you. Search for books.
So search for books, and I'm just pressed key 6, and if I press confirm,
Most popular.
it gives me options of most popular. If I press key 6,
Most recent. Browse categories. Previous downloads. Title search.
and I'm just pressing key 6 to jump through those various options. If there are any of those options that you want, you would just press the confirm key, and then you could search by any of the categories, any of the titles, authors, full text, and so on. So the stream has only enhanced its intuitiveness and how you're able to use it. I'll press key 1 to go to the next bookshelf.
Bookshare. 2. Books. Internet radio. 2. Playlists. 1. Favorites.
Now, here is the internet radio bookshelf. I know a lot of folks really enjoy the internet radio side of things. I do as well. But I wanted to show you now how the menus have changed. Remember, we saw earlier how on the Bookshare bookshelf, the first menu option by pressing key 7 got me to modify my login information, and then I got to the main menu. Well, because I'm on the internet radio bookshelf now, I'm going to show you how this menu will change if I just press key 7. Because we're on the radio, we're going to get different options.
Menu. Humanware playlist. International.
So now, because we're on the radio portion, we are in the playlists portion, and by default, the streams come preloaded with the Humanware playlist, and that gives you access to a lot of the stations that are popular and NPR and things like that. And I could go through these options by pressing key 6.
Import playlists from SD. Export playlists to SD. Humanware playlist. International.
Okay, so if you do a lot of importing or exporting playlists from SD cards, this is now where you go to find those options under the Internet Radio bookshelf. So it seems to make a lot more sense in where to find things, and rather than just digging through a lot of menus, we're able to find what we need very quickly. Okay, I'm going to cancel this menu now by
Leaving
pressing
menu. 1. Favorites.
the star key. I'm in the Internet Radio bookshelf. Again, if I press key 6.
2. Humanware playlist. Search on OO Tunes.
And here is the search on OO Tunes option. So familiar, but enhanced. I'm going to press key 1 to cycle back to the next bookshelf.
References. 0. Books. Search on Wikipedia.
So references is something that we've had on Stream 2. It is now on Stream 3. This is where you can search on Wikipedia, or you can search on Wiktionary. Maybe you're listening to a podcast and they mentioned something you'd like to learn more about. You can simply pause the show, head to the references option, and do any relevant searching that you would like. I'm going to press key 1 to get to the next bookshelf.
Podcast. 14. Podcast feeds. 3. Bandrew Says Podcast. Geeks Rising. 2. New episodes.
And we are now back on the podcasts bookshelf. So this online bookshelf will differ based on what you have configured. So for instance, I have Bookshare configured. I have NLS Bard and podcasts. But if you have perhaps NFB Newsline configured or other options, you will see different things as you cycle with a press of key 1. All right, I'm going to jump now into the offline bookshelves setting to give you guys a small tour of what that is like. I'm going to press the circular key above key 2. Again, no buttons have changed position from the stream 2 to the stream 3. So if you have one, again, you're following along, just press the circular button above key 2 and we will head to the offline bookshelves.
Offline bookshelf. Other books. 2. Books. 1. Brilliant by 40x user guide.docs.
Okay, so I have a .docs file here in my other books folder.
2. Trek demo files.
And I have some files for another one of our products, the Victor Reader Trek. So that is other books. If I press key 1, which I'm going to do right now.
Text files. 2. Files. 1. Trek release notes 2-1. 2. By 40xe-UG_111920-v1.docs.
Okay, so again, those are just text files, and I'll press key 1 one more time.
Notes. 12. Notes. 1.
And here are notes. And that is, of course, the same that is on the previous generation. So notes are here. You press 4 and 6 to go through them. You can press play, and the notes will begin playing.
Other books. 2.
And then
books,
there's other
2.
books. So we're
Trek
back
demo
to
files.
the other books option. So again, based on what you have, if you have any music on your stream, it will show up in the music folder. I don't have any music on here at the moment. So if your bookshelves look different, it's just based on what you have in your offline bookshelves. So you're able to transfer a lot of different types of content, and then it makes it easy. So you don't have to be dependent on an internet connection to download content. You're able to transfer it just through a computer if you didn't want to do the stream directly. But we've made it a lot easier to transfer content to and from the device. The Bluetooth options, I'm going to run through those just real quick so you can see where those are located. So I'm going to head back to the online bookshelves.
Online bookshelf. Podcast. 14. Podcast feeds.
Okay,
3.
I'm going to press key
Andrew
7.
said menu. Downloaded podcast episodes to keep. 3.
And again, there's that kind of local menu because I'm in the context of the podcast bookshelf. It gives me podcast related information. If I am going to the main menu, which I want to, I'm going to press key 7 one more time.
General settings.
Okay, and let's go to wireless.
Navigation and playback. Wireless.
Here is wireless. I'm going to press confirm to open this menu.
Airplane mode. Off. Wi-Fi. Bluetooth.
And here is Bluetooth. So it's located in the wireless menu. So again, if you want to pair headphones, speakers, some types of hearing aids, this is where you would go to do that.
Airplane mode. Off.
And those are just those 3 subcategories is in the wireless menu. So I will press the cancel key.
Wireless.
And you have some various other options which have been reorganized. We're going to look a little more closely at these menus here.
Recording.
For instance, recording. We mentioned notes, and I know a lot of folks really like to use these units to record lectures or reminders, maybe recipes, phone numbers. There's a myriad of things that you can record. But if you would like to format your recordings a little bit differently, this is where they can be found. So I'll open this up just to give you a brief idea of what's here.
Recording volume adjustments. Fixed. Preferred recording source. Currently active.
So I'm just pressing the 6 key to go through these options, but as you can see, there are several new ones here.
Built-in microphone file type, MP3, 64 kilobits. Headset recording file type, MP3, 64 kilobits.
So again, if you have a headset that you want to use to record, or you're fine with just the built-in mic, you can change those formats if you would prefer.
External recording source, microphone. External recording mode, mono. External recording file type, MP3, 128 kilobits.
And any of these, if you wanted to change, you could press confirm on these options.
Recording volume adjustments, fixed.
And then we're back to the recording volume adjustments. So I'm going to head out of these menus now.
Recording. Online settings.
And then you have online settings, and this is where software update lives and some other things as well. So you can always change languages, change voices. We have quite a few new language packages, and this is nice as if you're connected to the internet, you can change these on the stream itself. The initial language package, so for instance, US English, you would want to download that from our website, put it on the card. But if you wanted a secondary voice, you're able to change that in the menus. And let's take a peek at that now, because I know voices and things that we spend a lot of time listening to, that's very important that it be comfortable. So I will show you that is new.
Leaving menu 3. Band menu. General settings. Language. Download language and voices.
So I've just pressed confirm on language. Now we're at download language and voices.
Select content voice, will.
So the content voice I have selected right now is voice will. If I want a different one, I'll press confirm.
Select content voice, Lily.
Okay. And now you have Lily. So in this package, there are those voices.
Select content voice, will. Braille translation table. English Ube Duxbury grade 2.
Okay. So if there are any pre-RF files you want to read, that's the table it would use.
Select content voice, will.
Lily. Okay. So now content that I read is going to be read in the different voice, and I'll show you how that works right now.
Leaving menu 3.
Bandwidth.
Offline bookshelf. Other books 2. Books 2.
Track demo files.
1.
Brilliant by 40x user guide.docs.
So if I was going to read this Brilliant BI 40x user guide, Lily would be the one reading it to me as I've changed the content voice. Let's see if it's 2. And another thing you can do is you can, if you want, download another language package from our website, which will have a couple voices. And then you can select the secondary voice on the unit itself if you wanted to do that. Okay, we'll go back into the online menus now.
Online bookshelf, podcast 14. Podcast feeds 3.
Bandwidth as podcast. Geeks Rising.
2. New episodes.
So that's something nice that you can do if you wanted to change languages, change voices. You can, of course, adjust the speed, the tone, and the pitch of these voices. And we'll hop back into the menus just to complete the tour.
Menu, downloaded podcast episodes. General settings. Navigation and playback. Wireless. Recording. Online settings.
Okay, we'll just pop into the online settings real quick. If you wanted to know how to update your device, we're going to press confirm.
Software update. Notification mode. No notification. Book services. Other services. Software update.
So anything related to your book services, like let's say, hey, where's NFB Newsline or NLS Bard or things like that.
Other services. Book services. Bookshare.
Here's Bookshare.
Daisy Online.
Daisy Online is a service we don't use in the US much, but outside of North America and in other countries, this is how they would get their books.
NFB Newsline.
And here's NFB Newsline for those who are subscribed to that service. That is a free service, and it has magazines, newspapers, and a lot of information.
NLS Bard.
And here is NLS Bard.
Bookshare.
Okay, so those are the services that we have currently on the stream. Now, if you want to log into the services, this may come up, the method of inputting text has not changed. So you still have the keypad style entry of the 2, for instance, has the letters A, B, and C. 3 has the letters D, E, and F, and so on. And you would press those in accordance of times with the letter that you want. So for instance, the letter B as in Bravo, you would press the 2 times. So that is how you would log into various services. I'm going to cancel to exit this menu.
Book services. Other services.
And I'm heading to the other services to show you folks what is available there.
Internet radio. Podcast. Internet radio.
Okay, so those are some things that you can look more into if you wanted to sign up or search those services.
Other services. Online settings.
And then you have online settings. So this device, again, we've covered a lot of info. I would love to just spend a few minutes recapping here, and then I would welcome your questions. The new things that we have added, we'll start with the first things first. So we have added an SD card cover, and the size of the SD cards that the stream can now accept are 1 terabyte, up to a terabyte. You, of course, don't have to use just that. You can use any size of card that you would like. There is a USB-C charging port at the bottom. That is also how you connect the stream to the computer. So you have the standard USB-C cable goes into the bottom to charge, and then you plug the other rectangular end into your computer. When you do that, the Victor stream will show up as a drive, kind of like a flash drive, and you'll have 2 options or 2 folders. You'll have the Victor stream itself, internal memory, and then if you have an SD card present, you will have the SD card show up. So if you want to put something on the internal memory, you will have those structures available. And if you wanted to put something or take something off of the SD card, such as notes, you go into that folder and you'll have the conventional folder structure of $VR, DTB for Daisy Talking Books, $VR notes, and so on in that card. We have a louder and more improved speaker. So if you are wanting to listen to it, your audio, you can raise the volume. It goes louder. And the speaker is clear, so easier to understand. We've updated so it connects to modern Wi-Fi, so 2.4 and 5 GHz. A lot of routers now still support 2.4, which is the older version, but if your router supports 5 GHz, you can connect to that as well from the wireless menu. We have added Bluetooth, so you're able to connect the stream to speakers, headphones, some types of hearing aids. And I know that was a much requested feature, and we're excited to be able to add that. In more recent software updates, we've added chapter support to podcasts. So if you have a podcast that is divided up into chapters or sections, you're now able to navigate by those chapters just by pressing key 8, as you would to navigate by any other elements. We have highlight bookmarks and audio bookmarks. Those are elements of the Stream 2, which are now present on the Stream 3. You're able to search internet radio, Bookshare, podcasts, NLS Bard, NFB Newsline. So if you're familiar with those services and you have liked to listen to those on your Stream 2, you can do so on the Stream 3. The menus have been organized for a better structure. So as you saw, the menus now kind of are divided up into 2 categories. So if you're on the podcast bookshelf, for instance, and you press key 7, the podcast specific information is what's listed. Hey, do you want more than 3 episodes? Did you want to look at other information relating to podcasts? So it's kind of a local menu. If you think of the main menu as a global menu, you press key 7 again to access that. And that will give you your general settings, your online settings, which is your software update, and where you have access to logging into other libraries like NFB Newsline or NLS Bard. You have the wireless options. You can tweak your recording settings if you'd like to do that. And that is all in what I'll call the global menu. And then you have the offline bookshelves. Those have anything that you've put into the folders. So you have text documents, you have other books, maybe you have some Daisy books, and you put those into the corresponding folders, and you can find those in the offline bookshelves. Bookshare, as they have added support for audiobooks from their website. you are able to copy those books to the stream, and then you can listen to those on your stream as well. Again, that's not supported through the direct download as most other Bookshare files are, but you're able to copy those easily from the computer side of things. Those are just some of the new things on the Victor Reader Stream 3, and we have a distributor, Sterling Adaptives. I'm sure some of you folks have worked with them, and they have Victor Stream 3 is for sale. So if you wanted to get a look at them, check them out. They're a wonderful partner of ours, and that is where you can purchase a Victor Reader Stream 3. I do see that we have some questions, so I guess let's dive into that now, and I'm happy to go over anything else that you have questions about.
Thank you, Rachel. Ryan, would you moderate the questions for us, please?
Absolutely. So we'll go in order of who raised their hands, and then once the question is asked, I'll go ahead and lower your hand. If you'd like to ask another question, you can raise your hand again, and you'll then go in order of who's been raised until we run out of time or the program has changed. Okay. So the first person that raised their hand is Deborah. Go ahead and unmute. Deborah,
can you hear me okay now?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Oh, excellent. Okay. I think my favorite feature is definitely going to be able to access the internal memory with my PC, but I have a question about NLS Bard. On my stream too, when I look at a list of books from Bard using the stream, it mixes together all the books that Bard's now been offering in different languages. Is there going to be a way that I can only see English or only see Spanish books from the Bard listings that appear when I search for a particular book or look at a particular category? Thank you. I'll go back on mute.
Thanks, Deborah. So I think that is a change on the Bard side. I saw some announcements recently where you're able to set in your account your language preferences for books if you only wanted to see books in Spanish and so on. So if you are seeing books in a lot of different languages, confirm in your Bard account that your preferences are set to just books in English, and then that should mirror on the stream side. And then that's what should show up in your search results.
Wonderful. Kit, I see that you have your hand raised.
Audio now unmuted.
Hi, my question is very simple. The Library of Congress distribute the Victor. Are they stream 2 or stream 3?
That is stream 2. Yes.
Can the stream 2, can it download the stream 3 software to a stream 2?
No. So the stream 2 is I love that question. So unfortunately, no. Yeah, it's not just a software upgrade. It is a hardware upgrade. The USB-C charging and the Bluetooth and the expanded internal memory and SD card size, that is all hardware. So yeah, you would need to purchase an upgraded stream 3 unit.
Good question, Kit.
Great one.
Okay. Excuse me, Tom, go ahead and unmute yourself, please.
Yeah. Thanks for the presentation. You did a great job outlining it. And moving into my question about making notes, just to make the question easy, I just want to be able to pick up the recorder and make the note. In the days of old on the Victor Reader 1, it wasn't on standby. You had to turn it on and go through the whole cycle and all that. So is that new and improved where you could just simply pick it up and make a note because you're thinking of what you're thinking of at that moment?
Yes, that is correct. So if I just wanted to make a note, I need to buy milk. I have the stream in my hand. If I just press the record button on the right-hand side, oops, let me get into the
Leaving menu. 3.
So you could leave it on
Offline
all
bookshelf.
day.
Other books.
Yes, you can leave it on all day.
Bookshelf.
And if I just
Podcast.
press record,
Start recording.
I need milk for my shopping list.
Stop recording. Note 13. Created. 3.
Bandwidth says podcast. Geeks Rising.
2. New
So
episodes.
it's still in your podcast. It's right where you left off, but I just had a quick thought and wanted to jot it down. You just press the button on the right-hand side and it records your notes.
Very good improvement. Very excellent. As you're looking for a blind accessible recorder, how do you transfer the notes over to like a computer, I guess? How easy, hard is that to transfer the notes to the computer?
So all you need to do is you need to have an SD card in the stream when you record your note. Then you can just plug the stream into your computer with a standard USB-C to USB-A cable. It shows up as a drive. You choose the SD card folder, and in that card folder, there's a number of folders, but the one you want is VR Notes. And in there are your note files, and you can just copy them over to your computer at that point.
That's a major improvement on that thing. That's great.
Thanks, Tom. Great
Yes,
question.
thank you.
Morgan, go ahead.
Hello, good morning. So I actually have now, I had 3, now I have 4 questions because I'm going off of one that Tom asked. Very good question, Tom. So I'm going to try to run through these really quickly and not take up too much of anybody's time. My first question is regarding the voices. So one, I just really wanted to confirm that, so Will and Lily are the 2 voices now that we have for options for the stream, right? For the US language, those are the only 2 that are available?
Yeah, those are the kind of the 2 flavors, I guess. You can get like English British or something like that. But yeah, if you want English US, those are your voices.
Oh, okay, fantastic. My second question is relating to podcasts. So do you happen to know what, trying to figure out how to phrase this, basically what podcast service is used? Like, is it, say, Stitcher? Is it, I'm just curious.
I love that question. I don't know off the top of my head. I would think if a podcast is doing things comprehensively, they should be subscribed to all of those different platforms, Pinecast, Stitcher, Libsyn, and then your stream should be able to grab it from that service.
Okay, so you have a variety of options. That's fantastic. Yeah. Third question is regarding Bookshare. You mentioned that Bookshare now has audiobooks, which is just fantastic. I had no idea. That's great. However, when you download an audiobook, you also mentioned that it goes into other books. Does Humanware and or Bookshare, I'm actually not sure, have any plans to essentially make it so that on, and I might be making this too complicated, so I apologize, but make it where, so you have your Bookshare folder, for example, right? And you can go in there, and in there you might see ebooks and audiobooks, or could you, I'm guessing also you could make something like that externally if you had the SD card for easier organization is what I'm thinking.
That makes so much sense. I don't know if there are any plans or even any plans on Bookshare's side to make this available via direct download, because any device that you want your audiobooks on, the Brilliant, for instance, or even Voice Stream Reader, you're supposed to be able to get these through that as well. You have to download the book first and then copy it to the device. And that's a Bookshare, I guess, limitation. That's how they've set it up for now. Mm-hmm. So unless they change or update that, that's kind of what we're left with at this moment.
Got it. Okay. Fourth and last question with recording. Something I've always been curious about. For recordings, if you have a list of recordings, like let's say I said, I don't know, I need milk or I need whatever. And I know if you play back a recording, it'll play it automatically. But is there a way to rename files for the recording?
We've seen that question so often. I love it. So the only way you can do it now is if you copy the recordings off your stream and then you can rename them. Unfortunately, if you put them back on your stream, they don't play, or they're just they go back into the numbered file system.
I see. So there's no way to do it.
Yeah, kind of on the
itself.
stream. You can consolidate notes into different categories, but that's kind of the closest you can get. So I would say the best thing, record your note on your stream. And then if you need to rename it, you'd unfortunately would have to store it in something like a flash drive or something on your computer side to play it back. Yeah.
Got it. Okay, fantastic. Well, thank you for answering my questions. That's all I have for now. I will go back on mute.
Thanks, Farhang. Great questions. Farhang, go ahead.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Rachel. Fantastic presentation. Rachel, I've also got a few questions, but they'll be short questions as far as I hope. What is the price of this new Victor Reader Stream?
We've lasted this long without a price question. Oh, nice, Farhang. So the price is $549.
Okay, plus the taxes, correct?
Taxes, no, I believe that's $549, just base price, and then like based on where you live, taxes would be calculated accordingly. But Sterling Adaptives, they can certainly help you with that, because I know taxes are different based on where people are.
Okay, my second question is, one of the presenters of Humanware had come, I do not know, at Tech It Out or at Vista Center, and he had mentioned that Humanware now has a GPS version also on the Humanware Victor Reader stream with GPS. Is that the same stream that we are talking about?
No, that is different. So this is just kind of a standalone book reader media player device. The GPS version, which is, I guess, kind of the previous, is the Victor Reader Trek. And that has the stream capabilities plus the GPS side of things. And then we also do have a standalone GPS/OCR device. So there's kind of 3 different devices going on in this category. But the combined one is called the Victor Reader Trek.
Oh, so that has the latest Victor Reader Stream 3 plus the GPS.
Not the latest. You could think of it more as like a Victor Reader Stream 2 and a GPS. The Victor Trek does have Bluetooth, though, which is something that the stream didn't have until now. But the reorganized menus and USB-C charging and the menu reorganization, podcast, all of that chapters, those are only available on Stream 3.
Okay. Now, I have 3 different Victor Reader Stream. The oldest one, which I have, completely stopped talking with me. I don't know why he is angry with me. Is there any way you can make it talk again?
I would recommend a battery replacement. So if you call Humanware, we can definitely help you out with that. That's what I would start with. You could also try changing the charging cable. That is a micro USB cable. So you could just get any standard micro USB cable, plug that in, and see if the battery is just completely dead and try charging it. So that's where I would start. Change the charger. And if that doesn't bring the battery and the stream back to life, look into getting a battery replacement.
Okay, but is it because of the Victor Reader device? Because I did remove the SD card and put it in another Victor Reader which I have. It didn't read the SD card at all.
So that could be how the SD card is formatted. So you could, again, always try another SD card if you have one. But if it's giving you any type of errors, like media error 5, or there's a lot of different numbers, give our tech support a call, and they can walk you through some troubleshooting steps, as well as can diagnose what could be going on.
Oh, that is wonderful. And are there any tutorials for Humanware online?
Yes. So for the Victor Reader Stream 2, we have a tutorial from Mystic Access, and they are creating one for the Victor Reader Stream 3. I think it's 8 hours or 10 hours. It's something extremely comprehensive and extremely well done. So if you have a Stream 2, look at the Mystic Access site, or you can look at I believe it's on our site too, but I can confirm that. And we can send out links. Maybe I could send a link to Bob, and if he's willing to distribute that to anybody who wants it, I'm happy to look up those tutorials.
That would be wonderful. How is it spelled? mysticaccess.org?
I believe it's Mystic Access, MYSTIC Access. MYSTIC.
Yes, access.
Access, ACCESS.com.
Okay, I got it. Great. All right, Rachel, thank you very much for answering my questions. If I have some more, I'll call in again. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Farhan. Great question.
Thank you, Ryan.
Okay, Ashley, I see that you have your hand raised.
Oh, was it me, Ashley?
Yep, you got it. It's you.
Okay, hey, everybody. Thanks for presenting. This is interesting. So, what's the battery life for the unit on average?
The battery life much improved, 15 hours.
Okay, yeah. As a background, because I have an older stream, probably when they first came out, so like 10 years old or more, and I have a Victor Trek, so I'm familiar with the old kind. But you say the speaker has improved. That's good news. Could you recap for me? I guess a couple things. How much memory will the unit have? And when you record material on the notes in the notes bookshelf, I guess I'm wondering, okay, what are the file types again, and also that it can record it, and also how long can each recording be? I don't know if there's a max size or if that depends on the amount of memory you have. I'm not also sure if the recordings can be stored internally or just have to be external, because I know in the past you had to record it external to the memory card, and I don't know if that's the case now. Thank you.
Yes. So thank you. So the recordings need to be on an SD card.
Okay.
And the formats are MP3, WAV, but the stream can read, or I guess interpret, a lot of different file formats, including M4A, so like Zoom files or Zoom meetings. So you can now listen to those on your stream.
Oh, yeah.
The internal memory is 16 gigabytes, and then you can have SD cards on the stream that hold up to 1 terabyte of information. So you asked how long you can record, and I would say as big as your SD card is. So if you have a smaller SD card, you'll be able to record fewer hours. If you have a larger one, you'll be able to record for more time. But MP3 and WAV, and then you can change those settings, which will also change how much you can record. So if you're recording in a higher quality format and bitrate, it'll take up more space on your card. If you've decided to lower that, it'll take up less space on your card.
Yes. Okay. So there are still multiple qualities, multiple bit rates to choose from.
Yes, there is. In the record menu.
Yeah, and my current one, there's like 320 and something else, I think. Oh, okay, great. And is there any type of external microphone that you all recommend using it with?
There's nothing that we really recommend, as long as your microphone is 1/8 inch. So there are tons and tons of microphones out there, especially because so many people are into podcasting. But as long as your microphone's 1/8 inch, so smaller microphones, you can plug that in and record away.
Oh, all right. Thank you then. Okay.
Good questions, Ashley.
Wonderful.
Deborah, I see that you have your hand raised again. We'd love to hear your question.
Okay. Am I unmuted now?
You are. We can hear you. Thank you.
Excellent. So I have a brilliant BI40X, and I use it a lot with Newsline. And by the way, I think it's the best Braille display I've ever used. I just really love all the features. I use it with Newsline a lot. I'm wondering with the Stream 3 if I'm using the same account. If I'm selecting publications on the Brilliant, if they will also automatically sync on the Stream and vice versa.
They should, yes. So if you're logged in under the same account, then you should be able to have your publications show up. You may want to confirm with NFB Newsline, as sometimes I know that used to be different. You'd have publications on your computer and you'd have publications maybe on the phone or things like that, and they would be different, but I think they have since updated. So
the website's a little confusing because it has in your pocket and it doesn't actually say on your stream. So it's hard to figure out which of their different services are the ones that the Brilliant and Stream are using.
Right. I mean, as far as I know, it should be the same because it's the same account. But if not, let us know. So if we need to, we can then reach out to NFB Newsline team and get that sorted. As far as I know, it should synchronize though.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Deborah. Great question. Tom, I see you have your hand raised.
Did you say Tom?
Yeah. Go ahead, Tom.
Okay. Yeah. I have the Newsline. You know, I have it downloaded. Never really used it. What would be like the steps if I wanted to get a newspaper? Like what would be the steps? I have the Newsline, but really never used it. What would be the steps to get that daily, I guess, over to the stream?
So if you have your account logged into your stream, you would choose that from the bookshelf, and then you could just go through the publications, be that magazines, newspapers. And once you do that and you find the one that you want, you would press the confirm key to confirm your subscription. And then you have the sync content option on the stream. And then you can choose if you want always, daily, and you choose that frequency.
And then it would be like I would have it on Wi-Fi and it comes across whatever 5 a.m. or I download it daily or...
Yeah, I don't know when the specific hour is that the publications are sent out, but exactly, yes. So once you have that set up, and you would start by connecting it to the wireless and then going into the online settings and choosing NFB Newsline and logging in, then you would be able to set up the publications that you want. And when you turn on your stream, it would synchronize them for you.
Very nice. Quick question on the Victor Reader, the track. What kind of price do you have on that?
The track, so that is, well, on sale for a few more days now. Let me do a quick check on that.
In ballpark.
Ballpark around 900. But I'm going to do a quick check.
Awesome. Thanks, Tom. Dean, I see you have your hand raised. Go ahead.
I got a question. How long does when you charge it, how long does this supposed to stay on? And the question I asked that is because I had a brand new Victor Reader stream, never used it. When I charged it, it didn't come. It doesn't even start. So I'm just wondering what's going on. And also my older one, when I charge it, it didn't last that long. It only let me do like 2 or 3 hours. So what is going on? I guess. Am I not charging it correctly? And the newer one should have been once it's charged because I charged it whole night and it didn't do anything. It's not even working.
Okay.
And I've never used it.
Okay. So for your older stream, you may need to check into a new battery. Again, technical support. They can definitely help diagnose if that is the case, because you should be able to charge it 4 hours or so, and then you're able to use it for a full day. With your newer stream, if you're using the charger that came with it, that should And if you're plugging it into a power strip, you may want to just plug it in directly to the wall and charge it again for about 3.5, 4 hours. And you should be able to power it on, and the battery should last 15 hours.
But I did that, and then it's not doing anything. It's like, because I just let it sit there for like maybe like a month, because I had an older one. So when I tried to charge the newer one I have a wall socket, a mini wall socket. I always charge it on wall socket.
Okay.
I charge it with that charger that came with it, and it's like whole night. I do it the whole night, and the next day I come up, can't even start.
Okay, it's not even starting. So I would recommend giving our tech support a call. If you've just purchased this, then it is most likely still under warranty. So if you needed to, you could get a replacement, or they can definitely help diagnose what could be happening.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Dean. I think, too, if anyone has any questions in regards to having an issue with their specific stream, that maybe we'll get that number so that we can connect you with the tech support. Farhang, I see you have your hand raised again.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Rachel. Rachel, I would like you to tell me which version of Victor Reader do I have. I'm just trying to play it. All right, just a minute.
Info 1 total time recording 3 battery powered downloads info wireless about Victor Reader version 4.8.15 model 5.
Yep, so that is a Victor Reader Stream 2 that you have.
Okay.
Notes.
Oh, okay. So it is Victor Reader 2. Okay, just a minute.
That's correct.
Now, how did you know it's a Victor Reader 2? By the serial number?
Not the serial number, but the way that the information was presented, and you have the guide voice that's kind of the traditional Victor voice. As we mentioned, the voices available now are the Will and Lily. Yeah, so you had some different voices going on.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. Thank you very much, Rachel, for answering my question. Thank you, Ryan.
Thanks, Farhang. Bob, go ahead.
Rachel, a couple of questions. Does the Stream 3 now support Audible books?
Wonderful question. So Audible is something that we are working on. That support is coming, but it does not at the moment. So
okay. And another observation I just want to point out is the Victor Stream 3 now has a built-in battery, not a removable battery. So if you have a backlog of batteries from your old streams, they won't work in your new stream.
That's correct.
Let people know that. And with the new Victor Reader Stream, is it possible to speed up all of the voices? You know how you can speed up podcasts, you can speed up books, but can you speed up Victor itself, so the time and the menus, you can get through those much faster?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you press the power key, there's speed, and then you press the volume key to up it, or the down volume key to decrease it.
Speed 3, speed 4.
And then it goes quite fast.
Speed 3,
and that
speed
adjusts
2.
the system volume.
Yes, that's the system volume key. So you press the power key, and then the system volume keys, which are right below it, volume up to go up, and then volume key down will take that down, and you can press the power key again.
Speed.
To adjust the
tone,
volume, or the volume of the actual voice, Will or Lily.
Speed.
Okay. Thank you very much. And just another comment. I love my Victor Reader Stream. I've had them forever. And the NFB Newsline is a fabulous feature that's on here. You can listen to virtually any paper around the world, United States, for free. It's fabulous.
Love that. Yes, we have. They've expanded so much, and there's so much information you can get there. It's fantastic service, as are all of these, NLS Bard, Bookshare, and so on.
Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you.
Ryan, do we have anybody else?
Thanks, Bob. Yes, we do have one other person. Tom, go ahead.
Is it me, Ryan? Farhang?
No, Tom.
Oh.
Yeah. Quick question on this, on the Bookshare. it used to be free in California. I was wondering if anybody knew if that was still true to get through the BARD or the local service.
Sorry. So I just want to clarify. Your question is Bookshare
through the
free?
Library, through the local California library, they used to give out the Bookshare for a year at a time. I don't know if they still do that.
I have not heard of that, Bob or Ryan. Do you folks know?
Trying to see, Patrice, are you on with us, or did you? She was kind of our expert on that. I know if you go through Vista and you work with our Stacy there, help me, Anna, they can sign you up, and we can get free Bookshare as Vista clients through the education side of things, and we do that through our social workers at Vista. Stacy, got any other information on that?
Hi,
Yeah,
sorry, it took me a minute to unmute. Yes, if you go through Vista Center, you can get a free Bookshare subscription. You would need to contact wherever you're located, your local social worker at Vista Center. So you could just call the main number and just ask for the social worker's name and extension and give them a call.
Can I add in regarding Bookshare?
1 second, Farhang. Tom, did you have any more questions, my friend?
I had a separate one.
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay. What like size SD card is recommended, and how would you use the internal memory, like without huge detail? What size is regular average for 7 books, and how would you use the internal memory for what?
So yeah, I mean, you can have whatever size SD card you'd like. You were mentioning a smaller amount of books, so maybe a 32 gigabyte SD card. You can put it in there. And then if you want things on your internal memory, the folder structure is the same. So, hey, I've downloaded a Bookshare audiobook. I want that in my VR other books on my internal memory rather than on my SD card. You can do that. And both of those options are accessed just by plugging the stream into your computer.
Okay.
Fantastic. Tom, did that answer your question?
Yes.
Perfect.
Okay, great.
All right, Bob, at this time, I don't see any other hands being raised.
It's me, Ryan.
Okay, Farhang, go ahead.
Okay. One request to Rachel, if she can send all the information about online tutorials and other information to Bob so that he can distribute it to all the clients. Thank you, Rachel.
Of course.
And, yeah. And the second question.
I would just mention that the Humanware has got an excellent website. You can go to their website. I mean, I'll pass this information on to you, but if you just visit the Humanware website, they have great support there, and all their tutorials for all their devices are there. But I will.
So is it mysticaccess.com or is it humanware.com to get
it is both. Mysticaccess.com. We'll go to the Mystic Access website. They have tutorials for all kinds of assistive technology. And then humanware.com/support has all of our technical support and all of our resources. But I'm happy to send both of those links to Bob, who, if he is willing, can then distribute it to everybody who is interested.
Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you.
And regarding Bookshare, I recently subscribed to it, and it was very easy. You contact your local person from where you are getting your BARD, like you have your own counselor, that I had one in Sacramento, and she will send you an application which you have to complete, and you do not have to provide any proof of disability because you're already on BARD, and you'll automatically get subscribed to it. They will send you a code number which you need to use. Very easy. Thank you. That's all I wanted to say. No question.
Thanks, Farhang. Go ahead, Bob.
Thank you, everybody.
I was just going to say, looks like you've moved the the USB cable to the lower left-hand corner of the device as opposed to being in the center of the device.
So it's still in the center. What's on the lower left-hand corner is the headphone jack.
Oh, that's what you've got plugged in over there. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Great. Well, if there's no other questions for Rachel,
sorry, Bob. We just had one.
There's
hand
one more.
pop up. Beverly, I see that your hand just got raised. Did you have a question?
Oh, good. I had to find how you get to the unmute button from raising your hand. Anyway, yeah, really quickly, if you go through Vista Center to sign up for Bookshare, is it free for only 1 year or is it free permanently?
It's free forever.
Oh, so can anyone do that?
Yes.
Just like Farhang said, you can even go through Bard and go through your counselor at Bard. And, you know, as long as you have Bard, you can have Bookshare.
Because I've been paying for it every year.
They appreciate your donation.
I'm sure they do. But if I could get it for free, I would like it better. So I could just call the library and they will do it?
Your counselor.
I thought that was only for a year if it's through through Bard.
Yes, through Bard.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you very much, Rachel. And if you pass on those different contact information to me for all the different things, I will send that back out to everybody who registered for today's meeting so that they'll have that. And I want to thank you for coming to check it out with Vista. We really appreciate you being here, and Humanware for all the products that they've developed over the years. They've been fantastic, and really looking forward to the new Victor Reader Stream and all of its features. So thank you very much. And we will see everybody here on July 7th with Deborah Armstrong talking about Siri shortcuts. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, everyone. It's my pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you, Stacy. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bob, do you want to stop the recording?
Yep.